Hi, my name is Anna Merrill, and I just wanted to share an important part of my life, my story. When I was a young child, I had to wear leg braces. My husband calls them my Forrest Gump braces. It made it really difficult. My feet were completely horizontal from each other, and I had a tough time walking, and it caused all my joints to just be basically ripped apart. But it helped my bones and muscles grow together correctly. So that was a plus. But over the years, by the time I turned 21, they told me I'd have early arthritis, and it did. It started about the age 2-3 for having my joints so stretched out. But by the age of 21, because I was getting older, starting college, sitting a lot, all the pains and aches just completely set in, and I was in so much pain that I had to start getting cortisone shots, and that was probably every 3 months. And then also on a daily basis, I had to take ibuprofen about 3 times a day. It was 800 milligrams. So I lived a very medicinal life, stuff that's gonna, have side effects that I worried about. But at this time, I had 6 children to take care of. So you can't worry about what's gonna happen in the future. You gotta worry about the now, so I could take care of my children and feel good. Out of the 6 kids, we adopted 2 big boys, which I love dearly. We adopted them when they're 14 years old, and they're now 22. It's helped them. They have all their great stories of how it's helped them. But the part I wanted to focus on is that out of my 4 at home, 3 of them have cerebral palsy. I started taking the product, I want to say it's been almost 2 years now. I was just on the beach in California and came across the ABC. And I don't remember anything about that investigative report except that it said arthritis, and my husband said, "You're taking this." So I did it hesitantly because I had baskets and baskets of vitamins, minerals, everything that everybody's approached me with to be taking, literally baskets. And so I was hesitant, skeptical, frustrated, just one more thing, more money to spend. And so I took it, and I wasn't very faithful. So it probably took me a little longer, I think, but it took me from May to October, because it goes in and repairs your body, which I understand now, the cells, and by October I felt better. That's when I realized, when they called and asked if I needed a cortisone shot, that I got to say no. And that was incredible. And probably since then it's been about 1.5 years, 2 years, a year and a half since that moment. I've only taken ibuprofen a handful, just maybe like 5 times in that amount of time. It was 3 times a day before that. And then the part that means the most to me, because of course we always need help as moms, but I didn't understand what oxidative stress was at that time. And when I started to understand what oxidative stress was, I talked to doctors. So I decided to look up pubmed.gov, because that's what I was told to go to. It's a doctor's site, and I put in oxidative stress and cerebral palsy. And when I had done that, it came up saying that in saliva alone, they have higher oxidative stress. They didn't even do blood tests. It was in the saliva alone. So that's when I realized, I felt really selfish at that point, because I'd been taking it a year already, not knowing my children needed it. And that was tough for me to realize. So right away I got on the phone with another doctor, and they told me to give my children a half a pill. And along with that, I started them on a half of Axio as well. And the part that I haven't told a lot of people, they had ADHD medicine. One had Ritalin, one had Adderall. And they were also on, my other daughter's asthmatic. She was a preemie and had lung disease. So we were in and out of hospitals, doctor's appointments, surgeries, you name it, therapies. So I put all of them on it. And they were all on Singulair, steroids that you have to jumpstart your lungs, Flovent, albuterol, Flonase, everything. And anyway, by what I've understood from all that is they've been able to come off their Ritalin, they've been able to come off their Adderall, they're doing better in school, they are off all their steroids, all their medications, and it's been the neatest thing to get to, and I've had the doctor's supports through all this. So I have all these little side stories. My one daughter, who is now 8 years old, she was 6 at the time, she was still just barely walking with, not even walking with crutches. She was either crawling or she was in a wheelchair, we were carrying her. And she also was having a struggling reading. We were trying to get her high frequency words, is, that, of, all those kind of words, and she was only at 10 words, but when we started her on this stuff, I want to say it was about 10 days later, the teacher actually called me and said, "What are you doing different? Your daughter just got 52 words." And that was exciting because I'd been doing flashcards with her. We're teachers ourselves, and to be working with your daughter when you're a teacher and not have that success, it was really hard. And then not only that is my daughter Charlotte, she doesn't hardly use her crutches anymore. She puts them in the corner of the room at the classroom, and she actually gets around the school pretty good without her crutches. And I know that we've seen a huge difference with just the functioning of the brain and the enzymes, and I know the neurologists have talked a lot about the enzymes needing to be repaired and taken care of, and that's what that's done. My one daughter with asthma, lung disease, she's, I think maybe used albuterol twice this whole year. She was using it every few hours a day, and if we didn't, then she was in the hospital because she'd catch anything. That was huge to me, because you hear about all these side effects of all these medicines, but you're trying to help them live. So that was huge to me. And then to start seeing my children walking, they still use crutches, but they're only in their wheelchairs for long distance. I'm talking like going through the malls and Disneyland type long distance. But just the progress that they've made has been incredible. And then another little tidbit on my kids is they went in for their follow-up surgeries and things. They're supposed to get tubes in their ears, and it wasn't a mistake, it was a choice I made, but I didn't put my little 3-year-old who has cerebral palsy on it, because with their muscles they already choke on all their food going down. That just sounded traumatic. And so I hadn't, but we went into the doctor's appointment, my 2 girls, and he asked, of course, what medicines are they on, and I was able to say they're off all, but they're on Protandim, and he didn't even think anything, he didn't say anything. And then